Hi, Collective. I'm Ancient, and I have a channeled message for someone. Before you entered this person's life, they thought they had love and life figured out. They lived by reason, logic, and control. Everything made sense when it could be neatly categorized. Relationships were either functional or not. Emotions were inconvenient truths, which was best compartmentalized. I'm thinking the King of Swords in my mind's eye. They were self contained, emotionally guarded, and very likely respected for their intellect. But beneath it all, there was some sort of disconnect, a kind of loneliness that was hard to pinpoint, but you could see that they were lonely. They couldn't shield that from you. When you walked in, suddenly the strategies didn't work. You were unpredictable in the most beautiful way. Your presence wasn't just romantic, but it was um, transformational. You didn't just flirt with them, you reflected them. You challenged the version of themselves they were used to showing the world. With you, they couldn't just think their way through things, they had to feel. Um, your connection with this person wasn't casual. It struck them on a soul level, a recognition, a mirror, a trigger, where once they were clear, now they were hesitant. Once they were settled, now they yearn for you. You are not just a person to them, you are a question their soul is still trying to answer and figure out. They are starting to see how many of their own beliefs have kept them trapped about love and identity. But they might have said things like, I don't do deep relationships, or I'm fine on my own. This is who I am. I don't change for anyone. I really don't care. Stop trying to make me feel. But now those walls feel less like strength and more like a prison of their own making. You're not forcing them to break out. You're just standing outside the gate, free, raw, and real. And suddenly they see how small their world has become. And now they're asking, have I built a life that keeps love out? Wow. This person is stuck between the old world and the new you've revealed to them. Even if you're not talking, they want to move forward towards you, towards truth, towards taking a risk, and towards feeling. But they fear what they might lose, which is control and comfort and pride. They're avoiding the decision right now, pretending they're not torn, but their silence or distance doesn't mean they've forgotten you. They're battling themselves. Their head says, stay safe. Their heart says, don't let this go. You've become the fork in the road in their life path, and either choice will change everything. Here is a bit of a twist. I feel like this was meant to happen. Your meeting wasn't an accident. This isn't just quote unquote another connection. This was karmic, it was destined. And not saying that you are a karmic partner, but this karma that came from you entering into their life is a turning point in their soul's evolution. Whether you end up together or not, you have altered their path. You've cracked open something that will keep unfolding long after this moment if they choose growth, love, vulnerability, truth. The wheel turns in favor of deep connections. If they resist, the wheel still turns, but the lesson will come again harder next time. You were the storm, the catalyst, the wake up call, the soul shift. You've made them question everything. And in doing so, you've set change in motion that cannot be undone. This person isn't confused because you hurt them. They're confused because you revealed them to themselves. You showed them a mirror. They may not say it, they may even run, and I feel like they have. But in quiet moments, they think of you and feel everything they used to deny. You didn't break them, you broke the illusion they lived inside, and now they're standing on the edge of who they were and who they might become. Because this person, I feel, stood tall in the world, very confident, perhaps even untouchable. This person saw themselves as a leader, a creator, someone in control. They are driven by passion, by ambition, by the need to conquer both their world and their own desires. They've likely been the type who move through relationships on their terms, very charming and magnetic, but often keeping their deepest emotions just out of reach. They led with boldness and not vulnerability. They thrive on attention and not intimacy. And they thought they knew exactly who they were, a ruler of their own world, their own realm, a master of direction, and someone who burns bright but never loses control. But again, you showed up. You didn't storm into their life like fire. You arrive like light after darkness. Wow. Quiet. Impossible to ignore. You were the star in their life, their hope, healing, and divine alignment. It speaks to a soul deep recognition, something spiritual rather than strategic, where they were the fire, you were stardust, where they were commanding, you were vulnerable, where they built walls of charisma, you offered a mirror of truth. And in that mirror, they saw a version of themselves they'd forgotten or never dared to believe in, the part of them that longs to be understood or just admired, the one who craves trust, not just control, the soul beneath the ego. You didn't just attract them, you stirred something ancient, raw and real. You made them dream again, not of success, but of something sacred. Now, their carefully constructed identity wavers. You've become the question that their confidence can't answer. What is this feeling? Is what I've been chasing all along in all the wrong places. What I see in my mind's eye is the Eight of Wands. This person is overwhelmed in the best and worst ways. Their thoughts are racing, emotions they've suppressed for years are surfacing all at once. They feel urgency, desire, and need. Things they once dismissed, soulmate, vulnerability, suddenly feel real, almost necessary. You may not realize it, but your presence has accelerated their evolution, their plans, has been disrupted, their detachment cracked open, their confidence no longer as solid as it seemed. Too fast, things are moving. And that's where they are now, free falling through clarity and unsure how to land. confused, poetic is what I feel. Someone could be reading poems as I'm speaking because this channeled message is very poetic. Um, you caused this person to question who they thought they were, what they thought love meant, what they've always needed to stay in control of, what their soul actually wants. You've awakened something they can't unfeel, a longing that logic can't dismiss, a question that won't be silent. They thought they knew what they wanted. They thought they knew who they were, but you made them feel something real, and now nothing else compares. And no matter what they do next, come forward or run away, you've already changed their course. Their fire now longs for your light. And in their silence, a thousand questions echo. What if this is what I've been searching for all along? Wow, that was deep. That's all I have for you. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.